Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and I hope everyone's going to have a wonderful day today. I decided to come up today with a personal haul. Yeah, it's only a small one, but I thought I'd do this as a quick video because I don't know what this storm is going to be doing this week, so I need to go out and move pots and stuff. So if it's not too windy and I've still got internet connection tomorrow, then you know there'll be a video tomorrow, but if I haven't, I won't be here. So anyway, my little haul, they all cost $1.51 each. It was free shipping for each of them, and I think for $4 and however much I spent, it was an absolute bargain. So here's my first one. It's a postal background. I will measure. I got a set of 3 borders, and I got this little envelope set which is seriously cute. You get a couple of postcards, and I think you can actually glue that one to the back, although I'm not entirely sure, but you could use them separately as well. But the biggest little envelope is 2 3/8 and 1 5/8. Yeah. And the borders are, let's have a look there, they are 5 3/8, and the stamp background, postal background, whatever you want to call it, is 5 3/4 by, I'm going to say 3 3/4, just a fraction over. But for $1.51, I was really happy, and they only took 12 days to get here, so that made me even happier. So anyway, I've done some paper cuts, and I've got my chalks on the table, so I might drag one out in a minute and colour it in and stamp or something. I'm also moving my ruler out of the way. So here's my paper cuts. We'll start with the little envelopes. I did put those back to back because the little stamp does pop out. But isn't that sweet? Ooh, they're so cute. And this little bit, as I said, you know, it pops out, but I just put it in there because I cut with heavyweight cardstock. And then this one has got a little heart with it, which I'm holding in my fingers there, but you can see that it just embosses really nicely, and you can pop your bits like, whoops, grab that, like this bit, you know, could tuck into there like that, and you could stick your heart back in if you had it the right way around, or you could have little bits just coming up from the back of it. So I really love this little set. So that's the little envelope paper cuts, and then we've got the borders. I only ran these through once, and you can see how intricate they are. So those are the little borders, and there were 3 of those, so it was like $1.51 for this set, $1.51 for that set. And then my postal, look at that, got a bit of fluff on it. Never mind the fluff, but it cuts out absolutely beautifully. It was really easy to poke out as well. So I found this set of stamps. I've been trying to sort all my stamps out because I've got so many sets, and I can't remember when I hauled these. It might have been a month ago or so. So I figured I might stamp a couple of those and stick them on there and see what happens. But I've got my chalks and I've got my scruffy mat. So what I want to do with the postage background is I want to pop it back inside its die, because that's the easiest way to colour it in. So I'm just getting the die out of the bag here. Now you can choose, you know, to have your postal whichever way you want it. You could have it like that, for example, but yeah, I kind of like it that way around. So I'm thinking about what I've got here. So turn this the right way around and just pop your die cut back in. That's all you've got to do. Once you've got it back in and lined up, just pop it down on your table, and you can kind of like slide it around, just make sure that your die is there. And I've got my chalks again because I hadn't even put them away from the other day, and I've got these colours. And I think I'm going to go pale green. This is the chilled palette. Now, somebody said the other day, where'd you get them from? Well, Jane Davenport has discontinued them. So the only place you're going to find these palettes now, really, is going to be on eBay or the marketplace. You know, so you just have to have a hunt. Now, what's interesting about these is not everybody seems to like them. So you can find used palettes. But when you've got one, it's really going to last you for life. And the only other comparable, because people call them chalks, these aren't chalks, they're actual pastels. So the only other comparable would be pan pastels, and they're horribly expensive. And I've said to, excuse my throat, to pan pastels for a very long time, why they don't do little mini pans, because they're the large ones. If I pause, I'll show you. Hang on a second. Right, these are pan pastels. You see how big they are compared to like that, and they do come attached. You can screw them all together in stacks so that you've got them like this. But because I'm only a crafter, I'm not an artist with pastels, and I don't do huge projects. Sorry, I can't screw the lid back on now. I don't use a large quantity of them. I kind of tend to have favourites like the yellow, and I think that one's purple. Yeah, I can't see the colour on that one. What's that say? Violet. Yeah, that one's called Violet. So, you know, you just can collect them as you want. But these are like $6 or $7 each. You know, so it's an expensive way to do it. And it's cheaper to do it like that. You can absolutely use chalks if you want to. But I just like pastels because they're smoother. So, right. Looking at that stamp set that I hauled, it's a bit sort of, you know, nature. So I'm going to go greeny blues, and I believe I've got my die locked into position. So I'm going to start off with pale green, and this is quite literally all you have to do. It doesn't hurt your hands. You get colour that will go down quickly, and you can shade and do whatever you want. So I'm going to go all over this. It's going to have varying degrees of colour, because, you know, you can run your brush out as I'm doing. You can just wibble it up and down so that it's really softly shaded, and you might not even be able to see that. But let me carry on doing the green, and then we'll come back and do some shading. Right, so I've done that, and I've got varying, you know, shades of the same colour. And then I'm going to use the darker one. So it's the one just underneath that one if you've got this palette. And just make sure that you're holding it again. And I'll do a couple of these, and then I'll move my bits out of the way. And then we'll come back. So I'm just putting it down in a few areas. And you can just change it up. I'll do this one, just a little bit in this one. I'm going to go along there. A little bit up there. Right, I'll carry on doing this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my light and my dark, and I've decided I'm going to have some of this kind of blue-green, and I'm just looking for a brush that I can use. So I don't wash out my little foams. I just, you know, try to stick with similar or same colours. And I'm going to have just a little bit of that. So you can get quite creative with your colours and start to really change them. And of course, if you were going to scribble, you know, do your own thing, or stamp into these, doing this kind of stuff gives it some real character. Now, you don't have to do them all with the same level of intensity. Like that one I can totally go over. Just trying to create a harmonious whole. How's that? And no, I haven't had any coffee yet. So I'm just going to scrub that into there. But if you wanted to stamp, you can leave this in position and you can just, you know, pop stamps right down on there. And although I was looking at that bug set to use, I was going to go and stamp that and cut it out and layer it on top. I think I'm actually going to pause in a minute and grab a stamp set that I can use within the apertures. I'm going to go all blended into that one and also into that one. Now you could use icy blues and Christmas colours and use Christmas stamps, or you can get your purples and pinks out and do a whole Halloweeny thing. But I'm just going to leave that right where it is, and I'm just going to grab a stamp set and be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I decided on this one, which I think I have shown you before because I have used it before, but I do like it. And I've got a couple of scraps of cardstock just to make sure that I'm not stamping in any other windows. Now, I love these two little paper planes in this set, so I'm deciding where am I going to stamp those. I think I'm going to go in this small window here. So I'm just pulling those off. I should have got my really tiny stamp block. This one was on my desk and it needs a thoroughly good wash, so I'll just use these. Right, now I've got an arrangement here, and I'm wondering how I want them. So I'm going to go kind of like that. So one's kind of going up and one's going down, and then of course you need to know that they're going to fit within your window. So I'm going to come down slightly because everything's at a very weird camera angle for me. So all you need to do is just hide your other apertures so that you're not putting any ink or stamp doodah in there. I'm using my mini archival ink and I'm just inking up my stamp. I've got my camera dropped down really low today, so maybe I should have had it a little bit higher. So I'm just holding those, and then I'm just going to go into the window, and hopefully that has stamped. Oh, I've got a little bit missing, but that's okay because I can just track into that with my black fine liner. So I'm just taking those off. They're going to need a clean. And somewhere here, because I know that I just took it out, is my black fine liner. One hopes. Right, I found it. Here it is. I like to use this one because it kind of tends to match in with your ink. And then you can just touch up your stamp for anything that you missed. Right, now the next one I want to do is, I think I want to do the windmill here. And don't forget you can use your paint pens if you've got paint pens, and you can go in and colour. You can have all sorts of fun with sets like this. Now here is the windmill that comes in that set, and I'm just holding it here. Otherwise I'm not really giving you a demonstration if I'm stamping offline. So there we go. And I'm going to move that up just a little bit. Then I'm actually looking at the camera to guide me, so I'm going to go there. And hopefully I'm stamping the whole thing out this time. So I've got my little windmill. I'm going to move that out of the way. And then I've got like dandelion clocks and stuff like that. And I'm going to go into there for that one. I'm just going to pick up my little windmill. Or should I go in there? yeah, I'm going to go into there. So, you know, just move your scraps of paper around that give you the most protection for what you're doing. I'm going to put that one down. So I've got little dandelion clocks, and I am going to pick this up in a second. And then I've got my larger dandelion, which I'm going to try and squeeze into here. So I'm just blotting those out, and that's what this one looks like. It is quite big. And it's the larger flower that I'm interested in, so I'm going to go there. So with dandelions, paper planes and windmills, and I'm trying to think what else I've got in here that would fit. And I can't really see anything else that's going to fit. Maybe the dandelion, which is this one, but a lot of that is going to go missing. But I'm going to try and see what happens when I pop some in there. So I'm just going to pop that there, and then I'm going to ink it up. So I have inked up the whole thing, and don't worry about getting ink onto your die either, because it will wash off. You can just get a baby wipe or anything and clean it off. Right, let's try and get the flower in that window. See what we end up with there. Ooh, we got no flower. Oh, now I've got to try and line that up again. Now this might be a disaster. Who knows? But I do need that bit there. And it could actually be that my die is too high to take it. Yeah, it's very, very partial. So I'm going to remove that anyway and see what we've got. But isn't that cute? It's such a shame about that. Maybe if I used a little bit of tape around the edges, I'd get a better impression, because as you can see, my die was just like too high up for it. And then with those sheets of cardstock as well, that wasn't helping at all. But I really love that. How nice and soft that is. Isn't it lovely? Shame about that one. But don't forget, you can go and you can guillotine all of these out so that you've got individual stamps, and then you could just pop them with something else. It's a shame about my bugs, because my bugs are just too big. But you know, I could stamp bug mail or beetle post or anything into these smaller ones. I can stamp these, colour them, cut them out, and just, you know, create a background. But I really do love these. And I need to prove to you that the ink comes off, so I'm just going to wash it and I'll be right back. Right, so there you go. No ink, no chalk, all shiny and new again. Right, that is what I've got for you today. And as I said, hopefully the wind is not going to be too strong, because when it is, my internet connection just keeps dropping. So, you know, do have a wonderful day. And if I'm here tomorrow or Friday even, then I'm okay. Thanks so much for watching. As usual, all links below. Bye.